then we can start. Thank you so much, Crypto, for joining us. We're all very excited to hear more about what BoostX has been doing. Generally, around the landscape of SocialFi, it's just been something that I definitely have been digging into today. So sounds very exciting. So with that, I'll just, hand it over to you and, would be happy to engage more once we're done with the talk and hear from you with regards to what you've been up to with BoostX. What do you think about, the upcoming roadmap? How do you see the space evolving?
Gotcha. Hey, thanks for having me, everybody. Appreciate you having taken the time out of your day to talk about BoostX and get to know it. Super appreciated. So first, I'll start with the top. Or actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and share my screen here, and we'll all do it the right way. Share screen, or actually share window. And let me get over here. Okay, so let's start from the top. BoostX is basically a browser extension that's built on Stacks, or built on Bitcoin and powered by Stacks. It's bringing DeFi directly to X. Basically, today we're going to talk about how it's bringing a seamless tipping on chain, or seamless on chain tipping to the X experience. Via tweets and space drops, and there's various ways to send it, like on broadcast. But we'll explore the features and real world use cases, and we'll talk about the Bitcoin backed infrastructure that's powering it. Most notably Stacks, and lastly we'll kind of kick you off on where you need to get started. So I'll start with basically our vision. We're basically envisioning a future where social media evolves from being content-centric to value-centric, where every post, broadcast, or space carries financial significance. Our goal is basically to make social interactions natively on-chain, enabling creators and curators and communities to earn, reward, and share value instantly using Bitcoin-backed assets on the Stacks blockchain. Ultimately, BoostX exists to unlock new economic layers of influence, attention, and collaboration, delivered seamlessly, securely, and without intermediaries. So we have some core features. Most notably is obviously connecting your existing wallet to X. So BoostX isn't a wallet. It's basically a bridge to connect your existing wallet, whether it's Ledger or Xverse or even the Signa, directly to X.com. Basically allowing you to interact with posts and broadcasts and spaces on chain. The other core features are tipping your favorite creators, obviously, like I mentioned, via tweets and broadcasts, rewarding your space listeners. So, airdropping tokens in real time to the people that are in the space, or even since we have the option to add listeners or add recipients to that list that might not actually be current listeners, and we have real-time notifications. It's integrated into X as well. You can actually use the space drops to kind of send out invites in the form of space drops. So there's also, we're facilitating new engagement opportunities on X, like featured profile pages for highlighting artists and other projects to give them a little bit more on-chain engagement, right, directly on X. We have some use cases already live, obviously. So instantly rewarding content creators. Like I said, you can just click a rocket on a tweet or on a broadcast, and you'll get hit with the modal to basically send some STX or SBTC or even an NFT. We have 42 tokens supported currently, and all NFTs are supported, assuming they're following the NFT standard on Stacks. We also have find to earn quests. So every morning, basically Deorganized Media and Skullcoin puts out a scavenger hunt style game basically on X, where essentially users are able to participate and earn STX or there's actually various tokens that are given out throughout that, because there's sponsors to that from the various community tokens out there. So like Rue and Beat Pepe, and there's quite a few of them in there. We got space drops, like I said, and lives, and basically you can airdrop tokens to people in spaces. So reward your listeners for actually showing up. Obviously, this helps boost engagement, and appreciation is pretty instant. We have featured profiles and featured dApps, so we can showcase artists and dApps through BoostX, enabling additional on-chain engagement and discovery. So basically, the tech stack behind BoostX, we leverage Stacks APIs by Hero Systems. We leverage BNS v2 for name resolution. We also utilize WebSockets for powering basically real-time tipping, space drops, name lookups, and transaction notifications. BoostX enables users to connect their existing wallets, enabling seamless, non-custodial transfers with support for SIP10s and NFTs. And you can even connect your Asigna multi-sig vaults, so you guys can like earn as a team and spend as a team, basically, and kind of actually like operate as it's kind of like operating as a DAO on X. And BoostX is powered by smart contracts secured by Bitcoin through the Stacks network, using Clarity for transparent, auditable, and upgradable logic. Let's get the next one here. Our roadmap, we're about 40% of the way through already. We have, like I said, integration with Lether, Xverse, and Asigna. We support multiple namespace translations for .btc, .stx, and .id currently. We support multiple fungible tokens. There's STX, SPTC, USDH stablecoin. There's 42 and counting. We're adding them on the regular. Basically, people are just requesting. We're just adding them. We're not gatekeeping. We're not charging fees. We're just doing it. And boosting to tips and authors via posts, like we said, and broadcasts. Space drops to rewards, to airdrop rewards to your space listeners. We have featured stacks, dApps, module, and modal to discover new dApps. There's 36 of them already in there. We're adding adding to that list regularly. People are basically just reaching out to us, and we're getting them in there. Support for NFT transfers via boosting. We added that kind of after the request came in from the users. Featured profile pages, deeper integration with artists and projects, basically. Enhanced profile pages with BNS badges and rep for NFT tabs. We're working towards quote tweet split transfers. So basically, when you quote tweet somebody, if both authors have a BNS name, basically the subsequent boost that would come behind that, there would be 70% of that tip would go to the original author and 30% would go to the quote tweet author. Obviously that will help get the word out, and it's an incentive mechanism for that. Real-time exchange rates, obviously, to be displayed. We're going to have stats and leaderboards. We have BNS resolution to X profile page via your browser search field. That's actually already done, and I just haven't checked that off. Sorry, this slide's a little old. Basically, users can search, like CryptoDude.btc in their actual browser of their address bar, and it'll look up the zone file, translate the X profile page record out of it, and then forward the querying user to the corresponding X profile page. So it's a way to integrate it directly in the browser's URL field. Integration with CryptoCash mining and stacking for additional layers of incentives is coming soon. So users are going to basically be able to start mining for CryptoCash directly on X when they're boosting. So we're creating that incentive layer and flywheel for the users to boost. We're integrating also a referral system for incentivizing onboarding of users. So we collect a service fee, and we're going to carve out 10% of that service fee and pass that along to the referring party or the referred party. So referrals will be also settable by name. So in theory, you could go out there and recruit a bunch of active users, have a revenue stream, have it be associated to a name, and then resell that BNS name on market and use the revenue stream as your justification for your price. We have also additional sponsor system coming as well. So we're going to enable users to basically define some variable names or addresses to microfund when they're boosting, it'll also carve out some of the service fee that we have, tied in there. So users are going to get more control over that service fee basically as the features come fully online. We're really excited about those last three, to be honest. Those last three are going to be really interesting. And that's, kind of the gist of the product, the extension. To get started, you'll need a Stacks wallet, obviously. So Leather or Xverse. Don't lose or share your wallet seed phrase, obviously. Not your keys, not your money. That's very important to remember. Get the BoostX extension from the Chrome store as well. You can get, Leather or Xverse and BoostX all from the Chrome web store. They're all extensions, right? You'll want to make sure you have a BNS name also equipped as your X profile display name. So you can register like a .btc or .stx name from BNS.1. .stx is like, it lasts forever, literally, and also only costs 0.1 STX typically. So once you've got those, you can just head over to X. You'll have a new button basically that allows you to connect your wallet, and essentially you can start interacting from there on post and broadcast and spaces. It's all relatively at that point kind of seamless. So hopefully everybody gets the point of what we're bringing here. We're bringing DeFi 2X, and it's built on Bitcoin and it's powered by Stacks. And I guess if anybody's got any questions, I guess we can go from there.
Yeah, let me start by saying that this is a really, really interesting project. So when I came to the talk, I thought maybe we are talking about something similar to a bot, like a banker bot, X. But what I see here is like totally different, and especially the fact that you are not reinventing the wheel by creating a new social platform of sorts. You have X, you integrate directly with X, and right there and then you are incentivizing the creators and for the content that they are creating, and then the people who are spreading that content. So yeah, kudos to you, man. Really love it.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, exactly. We're taking it right to where the users are. Like lots of people in crypto are already on X, like so. Meet them where they're at, right? So we're doing that, and then we're trying to bridge those gaps between the users, and the dApps and the artists and the projects, and there's a lot going on here. I mean, it started off real novel, just tipping, and we've added quite a bit to it, and there's still quite a bit to add to it, but we're chugging right along. We've made really good progress.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a quick question about your revenue model. So the
Mhm.
three things at the bottom of your roadmap that you mentioned, is that where you are trying to realize more revenue and profits, or what's the overall model for your business?
So we basically charge a service fee when users are using the boost or doing a space drop. It's 0.1 STX. Basically, as the roadmap basically gets finished, 50% of that fee will be controllable or beneficial to the user. Like 10% of it will go to the referrer, 10% of it will be carved into CryptoCash mining, 30% of it will be basically defined by the user to microfund various entities. So in essence, if they don't define those values, then we'll absorb that as additional service fee. If they do, then they control that portion of the service fee. But basically, it's a 0.1 STX service fee across the board at the moment.
Very nice, very nice. And um, I'm not sure. There are other people, they may have more questions, but uh, my question is, what are the key challenges that you have faced while you're in this your journey of developing this product? Uh, I'm talking more about the developer ecosystem of Stacks and similar, things. So, what are the key challenges that you faced along the way?
Oh man. Well, I've been pursuing SocialFi for a long time before like there was even a term for SocialFi, right? And basically before I even knew about Bitcoin, before Bitcoin was even a thing, I was trying to hammer at this. And then eventually I discovered Bitcoin, and then eventually I discovered Stacks. And that was back in the day when Stacks was called Blockstack. And the technology has evolved significantly over the years. And the main challenge has basically been waiting for the technology to catch up to the idea, to be honest. Like,
And then it take a
that's
bit of a U-turn with regards to it's not a tech question, but I was just generally, before this talk as well, just kind of looking into the space, and there was just this thought that came up that, while we were talking about it getting more decentralized, in some ways, wouldn't it also start benefiting, bigger content creators who are able to maybe reward their audiences more as compared to maybe smaller creators who aren't, and then lead to sort of an imbalance, which would be a little different from the way that things are right now. Do you have any thoughts on that?
yeah, most definitely. I mean, the use cases for BoostX are really interesting. I mean, I look at it just from kind of like how I wanted to use it. I wanted to use it to tip my favorite creators in the Stacks ecosystem, right? And the feedback that we've received has been critical to evolving it. And you're absolutely right. If we had bigger names using it that were able to get their followers onboarded and start getting rewarded, that would be huge for not just them as a creator to give love back to their followers, but also for their followers to have a means to start actually earning permissionlessly on X. Like, to me, I'm all about permissionless finance. That's why it attracted me to Bitcoin to begin with. I appreciate the censorship resistant nature of it and the open nature of it, to where everybody's welcome. So
So yeah,
regard hopefully that answers your question.
it does. I think it's just that I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right, with everything. I- Even though it is kind of, in some ways promoting censorship not to be there, and might be, a bit of a noob view coming in, but I was just thinking that it can also then, reward certain ideologies maybe a little bit more, where, then that becomes a new challenge to look into. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty new, so we'll have to see how this evolves as things move forward.
Yeah, the way I look at it is it's better to err on the side of freedom than it is to err on the side of tyranny, right? Because that's there's never a perfect solution politically. And I look at like Bitcoin as, creating an even playing field for financial opportunities. That's what I appreciate the most out of it.
Makes sense. All right. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I feel like this is a great product. And I wonder what's your strategy to get more people, get more users on BoostX? Because I mean, this is like I don't have the words right, but imagine discovering Bitcoin, what that felt like. So that is similar feeling that I'm having right now with BoostX, that you have X and you have a tipping mechanism that you can leverage with X. So the possibilities are endless, man. So what's your go-to-market strategy, getting more people on BoostX?
Well, we've been doing a lot of different things actually, but one of the key things that's not yet finished is the integration of the referral system. So basically, users will be able to onboard other users. As they're onboarding other users, they can tell that new user, "Hey, put my name as your referral," and then, basically when that new user uses the platform, 10% of that service fee that we were talking about, that 0.1 STX, 10% of that will go to the person that referred that person. So, in essence, it's an open model for referrals, and it's all backed by the smart contracts, right? And so the I guess the scalability is just kind of at the user's discretion at that point. Like how hard do they want to hammer getting active users on it? Then they can
Yeah, no, I
basically
totally get it.
grow it that way.
Yeah, and I respect that. You don't want to, at least at this point, you are not looking at maybe influencers or people who create a lot of content on a daily basis. You are not looking at them to partner with them and boost the BoostX audience. Uh, but yeah, I mean, this is like a great implementation and a product that you have here. So we
Yeah,
would definitely love to see it going further.
we most definitely take the more of the ground up approach rather than trying to. Yeah, I mean, influencers can be helpful for getting the word out, most definitely, but conversion is a real issue when it comes to working with influencers. There lots of it's hit and miss. You got to really target really
Yeah,
accurately.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
Awesome.
All right.
is there any other questions? I'm happy to answer them.
I have a question. I was afraid it might be really silly, but in today's
Go for
world,
it.
and so I'm not very Web3 savvy, even though well I should be. But in today's world, Facebook makes money when an advertiser pays to sort of get consumers. And in my understanding, the big advantage of Web3 was that we as consumers get a chunk of what potentially advertisers can pay for, right? So as long as I'm asked by someone to share X information, Z information, XYZ, I'm happy to do that. How does that world merge with your world? So what I heard from you was, if I'm a creator, I pay people for listening in. But what if an advertiser, so say I'm an influencer and an advertiser pays for people who watch my content, sorry. How do these worlds come together in your opinion, or do they not?
There's most definitely overlap. And in terms of it's I guess highly contextual at that point, because if we're talking about rewarding users for sharing maybe analytical data, that's one thing. But if you're talking about having advertisers get into the mix to kind of have their products featured or their functionality integrated, that's a different conversation. So it's very use case specific in that sense. But you know we have already in the works integration with I mentioned earlier there's like a daily deorganized quest that they do with Skullcoin. Well, they basically issue out a challenge to the people in that tweet, and then basically they try and find the location. The first person to reply with the location gets the reward, right? And so there's a deeper integration that's about to happen where the players can buy in to get themselves as a player in that quest. So basically they'll be spending some Skullcoin to sign up for a quest. There's a limited amount of spots available each day, and then that basically allows them to be on the whitelist for the quest, aka be able to reply to the tweet. And then from there, if they reply first, they're going to get that reward for that quest, right? So that's a little bit of a way to prevent gamification, also integrate with their product specifically, and then improve the user experience for the user. So other similar thing, that's like what we call featured profile integration, right? And we have other featured profiles like an NFT artist. People can go to that NFT artist profile page and mint their NFTs directly from their profile page. Or we also have another one that's kind of more simple. It's more like a donation style integration, but basically, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Nakamoto one, but basically there was a rover that was sent to the moon that had some private keys etched in some metal, basically, and there's like $300,000 basically worth of crypto, including Bitcoin and a bunch of Stacks assets, up there sitting there on the moon, basically as a challenge to somebody to go up there and get it eventually. And people can donate to that treasure chest, is what we call it. And there's a means to even go to the Nakamoto One profile page on Twitter. You'll see the little treasure chest button. You click that and you'll be able to contribute to the treasure chest that's on the moon. So there's an integration there for their product and project. We have integrations, like I said, with artists and minting NFTs, and then we have integrations like with Skullcoin and Quest. So these are all basically integrations with either a smart contract or a principal address on chain. And so that same type of integration could be done for other businesses and or products that are coming online and on chain, as well as like we have the featured stacks dApps module on the home feed. So just like when you're scrolling through the home feed, you'll on the right hand side, you'll normally see that who to follow suggestion module on the right. We've got basically our own featured stacks dApps module that kind of presents 3 randomly presented dApps from our indexed dApps that we're featuring, and there's a show more link that they can click. They'll click that show more link, and then it opens the modal, and then it's got a searchable, presentation of all the different featured stacks dApps we have indexed in there, which is currently 36 of them. There's more out there, obviously, but we're working on different things at a time. So we're basically allowing them to come to us and request them, as well as we're curating them manually. But those are searchable by different tags. So like you could type in DeFi, you could type in Lend, you can, find the various different dApps. And there's links obviously to those different dApps, and it opens those dApps in a new tab for users. So there's that type of featuring for exposure. There's deeper integration, like I previously mentioned. And, there's obviously, potential for conversations to be had if there's an idea that's not necessarily addressed within what I've already discussed. So
Awesome.
Cool.
we're
Thank you
pretty
so
open
much.
over here. We like working with people.
Yeah, man, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, looking forward to seeing more of BoostX on all the different social platforms and seeing
Yeah.
it further.
Yeah, I'll drop a little alpha on you. We also are putting it on Discord very soon.
Very nice.
We've got that kind of on the down low, so to speak. So thought I'd mention it. But
So when YouTube?
when YouTube, it could be done next. We just we've kind of got them in not a particular order. We just put it on X first. We were going with Discord next. We were looking to maybe do GitHub to kind of incentivize developers to have a little, I guess, love thrown their way. And then, but YouTube was most definitely on the list. We've also thought about Twitch. We've thought about, other platforms as well.
Absolutely. Well, this is great, man. Thank you very much for your lightning talk and envisioning and your vision and the roadmap sharing with us. It has been really enlightening. And yeah, we are rooting for you and looking forward to seeing more of BoostX.
Awesome.
Thank you so
you.
much for joining us. Look forward to hearing more.
Appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you very much.
Thank
Have a
you,
great day.
Crypto.
You too.
Keep in touch.
Later.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.